This is Sybert signing into Generals Evolution on the map Fallen Empire for another 2v2. We're going to be kicking it off in the north with the reddish team. This is the GLA Stealth. This is Blues, which actually the last time I cast a 2v2 on this map, he was in that same spot. But joining him this time on the north side, playing China Tank, this is Kyle. Meanwhile, on the south side, playing Blue China Vanilla, give it up for ClouD. And playing the GLA Toxin in the south, this is Pashios. Maybe this is another player that we actually do recognize the name of. Pashios is not a name that I'm familiar with. However, this might be a smurf of someone else. At any rate, we have got ourselves GLA versus GLA on the left side, Stealth versus Toxin. And then on the right side, it is China Tank versus China Vanilla. So it's not quite... Whoa! ClouD is getting jumped on here. He went airfield first. Well, maybe not airfield first. He's got the War Factory. But he went early airfield, and then both of his MiGs got immediately obliterated by Kyle. So Kyle had something specific planned. A couple of early GATs going for harassment is not uncommon at all, but it seemed like Kyle had an idea here that ClouD was going to be doing this. ClouD is a very air power-centric player, and I also love this from Blues. He gets the GLA tunnel down, a very classic zero-hour kind of things. A lot of the best players in zero-hour, they know how to use and abuse those GLA tunnels, and even though it's a little bit more clunky here in Gen Evo, we do see the same kind of idea present here as well. MiG going to be going down there due to those rockets in that bunker, and a barracks coming up to try and body block this GAT out, but it won't quite work. The GAT gets through anyways. However, that GAT cannon will be able to deal with it, and these couple of tanks manage to hold the line for the current moment. Battlemaster Mark II's ready to go up against Battlemasters because it's going to be down to the pure defense for ClouD. He is being attacked so aggressively right from the beginning. Kyle has, it feels like, a bone to pick with ClouD. He is wanting to bring the fight to him immediately. The bunker will actually be busted pretty much right from the beginning. No, barely. It has survived through this onslaught. Finally, it will be broken there, but the second bunker is now up and ready to go. And finally, with two bunkers on the high ground and with rocket troopers inside of them, it seems like ClouD's defense is reasonably solid. However, Blues is not stopping with this tunnel. A Toxin Tractor is coming in to help deal with it, and, well, the Toxin Tractor will be dealt with quite easily. Finally, these garrisons have been evicted, so they're no longer held by anyone in the north. We saw that earlier. And random RPG trooper was killing off a MiG of ClouD's. And nice thought process there from Kylerino. I appreciate that he is specifically routing his units a little bit further to the north. Firestorm erupts there. That will kind of push this back. But I appreciate that he's not just throwing his units away, that he is actually thinking about where they go. Armies are so disposable in Gen Evo that we often do see players not be thoughtful with where they send units. So I appreciate that Kylerino, it was deliberately sending them to the weakened bunker, the area that had fewer rockets in the last attack, and he is making an effort to jump on that bunker and shut it down. Second bunker is going to be established. A couple of these tank hunters might be getting sniped as they go for that bunker, but this has opened up some additional space on the northern side of this base, kind of in the middle, and the MiGs do get eliminated, but the Firestorm does ignite, helping to slow down this tank push. The defense is solid from ClouD, but Kyle just will not stop pushing. It was basically a parade for the last 2 to 3 minutes across the map, units constantly streaming out, and Kylerino may finally be giving that a rest here, but it's only because he's actually making progress, killing off tanks. He has not dealt with this GAT cannon in the corner of this ore mine, so that's the one place that he hasn't been able to stop the bleeding of his units. Backdoor, a couple of rebels managing to get a surprise here as these stealth rebels will actually get... No, that MiG on the deck so close to going down, but the MiGs will be able to deal with these rebels, slowly but surely burning them down. And I didn't even notice there was a tunnel network that got established by Blues. His sneaky counterattacks seem to be a theme in this particular game. And it's going to be Scorpion tanks and radar van, as well as the quad cannons moving forward. A lot of RPG troopers from Pashios going to be the follow-up and the addition with this attack. The addition of those RPG troopers is always nice, and it's going to be Gats once again in the back door of Cloud's base. He truly cannot stop this attack from constantly coming in. Mine drop on top of the tunnel network. A really nice step there by Cloud to block that off and make that tunnel network that much less useful. Gats takes so long to kill any kind of a building. Meanwhile, back on the north side of the map, we have RPG troopers being eliminated. The entire army from Pashios has been cleaned up. Blues has held the line for the first time. The team in the south, the blue team, is actually putting some aggression into the north. They're actually managing to strike out into the north, but of course it is running up against this steep hill that leads into the bases that is so often the end of so many armies on this map. Gen Evo have a lot of hills leading into bases, and they are almost always an extreme difficulty to break up into. You really have to have either overwhelming force or you need some really good, well, super weapons. I was going to say support powers, but honestly, super weapons are another way to crack open that front door. But yeah, you typically need overwhelming force or a really good combo of support powers or super weapons, which we have not seen any on the board yet. Of course, it is going to be Scud Storms and nukes all the way around. None of those. Well, what do we have here? Okay, that's another airfield. I saw a giant square on the mini-map. I thought it might have been a nuke coming in, but nope, that is a big square airfield. I think that is a perfectly square building where nukes are a little bit more rectangular on the mini-map. Rocket buggies coming out from Pashios. Blues is going to want to have his own version of that at some point, and the airfield now going to be coming in for our China tank player, who has been happy to just roll on this double War Factory play. Something that we very often see China tank do is double, triple, quad War Factory, depending on the map and how many supplies there are to be grabbed. In this case, it is just going to be 2 supplies. The third one is on the high ground, and then the fourth one is down below. There isn't a ton of cash per player. This is not one of those maps where you sometimes will see a player with 6 or 7 supplies all at the same time, and then they use that to get into their late game economy, and the macro is truly, truly insane. Whereas in some of the like more 5 or 6 player maps, especially when it's an FFA, one player will get an early advantage and be able to have that huge mega economy sometimes, and they just are able to run away with things. But this map has a little bit more of a gated income, which is well, not exactly gated, but when you get into that late game with black markets and internet centers, that is there's no gate there. Well, I guess the gate is just how much space exists on the map for you to fill with buildings. Gat Tank going to be going head-to-head with this Battlemaster, but the Battlemaster is going to be losing as the reinforcements come in from the other side. Blues is ready for a big attack. It's going to be a lot of rocket buggies. He's trying to target down the palace, and it's going to be a firestorm, not igniting, but a lot of rocket buggies going down on the side of Pashios. He cannot hold the front line here. He gets broken, but finally Cloud comes in, and that is a firestorm right in the middle of all of the tanks. Going to be pushing back part of this GLA attack line, but not the whole thing. Anthrax potentially coming in here, courtesy of Cloud. And it might land on this, or it's actually going to be a cluster mine coming in courtesy of Cloud, and it will be further tanks pushing forward. Pashios is in big trouble. A lot of rocket buggies going down due to that mine drop. A little bit of trouble having to deal with that. More firestorms igniting on the Cloud side of the map as Kylerino tries to step up that hill and is unable to, and yet Blues actually does get stopped. All of his Manticore APCs did eventually run out. I thought Blues was going to be able to get the command center, and that would have been trouble for Pashios. He would have lost that production, but I think he has a backup somewhere. Black Market, Tunnel Network. Okay, he may not actually have a backup just at the current moment, so he will be rebuilding. Another Firestorm ignites there. Blues and Kylerino having a bit of an aggressive advantage initially, but they have not gone for very many super weapons. The first nuke is now out on the map. It looks like Arty Barrage just fired off somewhere on the map, possibly just going to be hitting one of these supply centers. And no. It was actually targeting at an army. A lot of times people will drop it on the supply center. You often get at least one of the trucks that are there. Sometimes you get lucky, you get both of the trucks and the supply stash or the supply center. You're able to clean up sort of everything in one fell swoop. Rebuilding has begun for Pashios. Arms dealer, couple of war factories coming up, and the palace will be back online momentarily. So no rocket buggy production for the last couple of minutes. Nuke cannon is here. Firestorm ignites. Really well placed Firestorm there from Kylerino. Pretty much perfect. Breaks the bunker. Okay, doesn't break the bunker. Almost breaks the bunker, but gets both of the nuke cannons. And unfortunately, no artillery will be supplementing this attack. So Kylerino is going to lose a lot to these 4 bunkers on the front line. Firestorm will ignite on the retreat, burning down a couple of tanks. Cloud knows the power of that Air Force, but again, that was a beautifully placed Firestorm. Very manual control coming in there from Kylerino to split the difference between those. And the Arty's Barrage gets called in, catches 2 of the MiGs on the deck. The other 2 do manage to get into the sky before the Arty Barrage kills them as well. Scudstorm on the way as well. 1 super weapon will be joined by another, and the rocket buggy production is back online, it seems, from Pashios, but so are those MiG strikes coming in from Kylerino. Rocket buggies on the high ground looking for any angular advantage, but Cloud and Pashios are now looking towards that low ground. Really just Pashios at the current moment, looking towards that low ground to act as that buffer zone and also get some extra economy online. Pretty much all of these players sitting with a pretty comfortable bank. They have decent income on the north side. Income on the south side is a little bit weaker, but I'm sure it's going to be evening out as the game progresses and that late game economy becomes a little bit more established for these players. Only 1 Scudstorm and 1 MiG, 1 nuke on the way. MiG Firestorm once again igniting right in the middle of the army and catches a lot of Pashios' forces. Blues, on the other hand, has enough on the ground to be able to push everything else back. Nuke cannons slowly making their way forward, and, well, the MiGs struck on the left side of the map, which means they did not snipe this nuke cannon on the right side of the map. Firestorm fires off on top of that airfield, and it's going to be a cluster mine right on top of the war factories as well. Cloud trying to break this front door of Kylerino. Nuke cannon launches a good shot, but a couple of Gats going to be able to come in and go for the kill there. Meanwhile, a couple of civilian structures have been taken by those rebel surprise rebels, courtesy of Blues. He's trying to knock down the middle of the map expansion of his opponents. A little sneak attack coming in there to disrupt that second airfield of Cloud. That air power is so important, and Cloud just lost half of his potential air power. The team in the north, with the constant aggression, finding a decent way to distract their opponents, and they do manage to stop the assault every single time. Cloud and Pashios have tried a couple of times to get onto the northern side of the map, and, well, these mines are still here. They haven't been cleared. Okay, right as I say that, they do finally get cleared out there, and that Gat cannon will now be eliminated. Gets canceled as it is no longer needed for that stealth detection. Kylerino reforming his front line into the middle. Airfield now going to be established kind of in the middle of Pashios' base, but ClouD is using what build radius he has. Giant Firestorm ignites there. Catches, I think, a War Factory. The airfield is still here. ClouD desperately... Oh, no, that was a second airfield. ClouD trying to get 3 airfields up and running. 2 airfields is just not enough for him. Another Firestorm does ignite. That is a support power getting called in there, and it will burn down both of those War Factories. Meanwhile, on the other side, Anthrax Bomb lands! It perfectly lands right on the army there, so no forces hardly will make it to the other side of the map. Just the air forces, as a sneak attack on the back door unleashes a bunch of Manticores and quad cannons right onto the airfield of ClouD. A perfect 1-2 punch. His army gets annihilated by the Anthrax Bomb. He was hoping for that counterattack to punch through, but this is a massive sneak attack when he is weakest, but it's a counter Anthrax Bomb, and it will land on half of the army. So much destruction here from the dual Anthrax, one from Blues and one from Pashios, as he will now be able to move through Blues, able to withstand that second Anthrax, and he will now break down the base of ClouD. It is going to be a counterattack on the other side of the map, going for that Scud Storm, trying to shut down that secret weapon, that super weapon, but Blues has way too many forces on both sides of the map, it seems. ClouD has been broken. ClouD will be GGing out of this game, and the Scud Storm has been denied, so has the nuke, but ClouD is gone, which means Pashios is now going to be fighting a 2v1, and this is just not a good look for him. ClouD's Air Force nearly able to keep him in this game indefinitely, but it will not hold the line forever, and Pashios is quick to follow. Blues and Kylerino, extreme aggression following into a sneaky, massive sneaky backdoor attack there from Blues, and it is just truly the better economy. Blues, what is that, 40k advantage? Yeah, 40k advantage over anyone else. I mean, second place was actually his teammate. So he had 50k more than ClouD, or than Pashios, and 80k more than ClouD. Massive advantage there for Blues, and you saw that in that army. But that will do it. The sneaky backdoor wins the day for the team in the north. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Sybert signing out.